Hey guys, Adam here with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we're taking a closer look at and installing the Pace Edwards SwitchBlade Retractable tonneau cover, available for 09 to 18 Ram 1500s without Ram box. You should be checking this out if you're looking for a slightly more unique style of tonneau cover for your truck bed, one that is extremely reliable, extremely to use, and has that retractable styling that rolls in on itself. That retractable styling has that garage door type of feel to it. You pull a cord, release a latch, and it retracts in all by itself, and you can guide it back with a conveniently located nylon rope that also has Velcro, so you can make sure you stick it up into place and know exactly where it is. Now this guy's made using all really premium quality materials. It's got a rugged polymer bonded to aluminum rails for added support. It can hold a good amount of weight as it is really sturdy, and it has weather stripping located in all the right places to make sure it has a leak-free finish. Now this guy isn't necessarily a hard tonneau. It does have a leather vinyl finish on the top that has these little ripples that help it roll in. Under that is a lot of those aluminum straps and foam padding. So it's a mix between a soft and hard type of tonneau cover. It's right there in the middle. Now, as far as passing the knife test, you can't really punch right through this. It is a little bit more flexible, as you can see, but it is a lot more theft resistant than a simple roll-up or snap-on cover. Now, included in those materials will be aluminum side bed rails that also has weather stripping built in. The canister itself that the tonneau cover rolls up in is already pre-assembled. The tonneau cover is located in that right out of the box, so it's really easy to install. It also has a cover on top to make sure dirt, dust, and all of the grime that you don't want getting in won't make its way in, and weather stripping is all available for that as well. Now, when it comes to bed accessibility, you lose about 10 inches, which is the width of the canister up by the top of the bed there, but you have full accessibility to the rest of the bed. This tonneau cover does not open in stages. It's either completely closed or completely open. Some of the other ones out there open maybe 3/4, a quarter, half. There are certain increments. This one does not have that. If you're looking to spend a little bit more money, you can get something like their Jackrabbit option from Pace Edwards that does open in sections if that's what you prefer. Now this guy, when it is closed all the way back by the tailgate, you cannot open it unless your tailgate opens. So from here, as it sits right now, I cannot open this guy. I'd have to drop this, release the latch, and then open it. So what that means, it's just a little more theft resistant. It's not accessible without unlocking your tailgate. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Finally, price tag for this guy comes in right around 900 bucks, and the install is gonna get 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. No drilling, no cutting, no permanent modifications to your bed required. It is a simple bolt-on install. Maybe easier to do with a helping hand, but I'm gonna show you every single step of the process by myself to show you that it is doable in the driveway at home with simple hand tools. It'll take you about an hour from start to finish. What do you say we get started? Tools used in this install include a ratchet, 11mm socket, Phillips head screwdriver, and wire cutters or scissors or something similar. All right, first step here, we're gonna start in our truck bed, and we have a weatherproof sealant included in the kit. This is more of a foam padding with 3M on the bottom of it. What this is gonna do is seal in at the top of your bulkhead to make sure no moisture or water can make its way inside. You wanna start by pulling off a piece of that backing. We're gonna run it from the top of the bulkhead corner here to the other side where it meets the bed rail. Now I'm gonna put that right about in the middle of the bulkhead, and I'm gonna run it straight across, peeling back that backing as we go along. Now this is typically longer than you need it to be. They give you a little extra. So run it all the way to the edge, grab scissors or a wire cutter or something, and just snip off the excess. All right, and then tuck it in. And you can save this or you can discard it, completely up to you. All right, so next up, we're gonna grab the tonneau cover assembly in that canister, and we're gonna set it into place up by the bulkhead. And you can use the Velcro straps here as a guide and lay it on each side of your bed rail, and that'll hold it in place. Now, you don't wanna sit it all the way up against the bulkhead, but you do wanna get it relatively close. Just leave a little bit of a gap until we get things finalized. The next step is gonna be to install our rails onto the factory bed rails, sliding it into the tonneau cover pre-installed into that canister. So you want to grab your driver's side first, and that's what we've got here. And you can determine the driver's side by making sure that the plastic end cap is facing the tailgate and the open slot is facing the bulkhead. You're also going to make sure that the foam padding here is going to be sitting up against that bed rail. So that determines driver and passenger side. Now, that foam padding is going to be your weather strip seal that seats against it, but it has a little plastic backing that you want to remove, similar to the bulkhead seal, only this time there's no 3M. So we're gonna pop that guy off, drop that aside. Now in order to install this, you're going to basically slide the tonneau cover into this slot, there's this weather strip seal here, which is called the sweeping seal. That's gonna sweep up against the top of the tonneau. So what we're gonna do is place this guy on the bed rail loosely like that. We're gonna lift up on the tonneau and slide it into that slot. All right, so it seats in just like that. All right, and then from there we can slide in the weather strip seal on top of that. Now that this is in the position, it'll slot in correctly, and you'll see that this is free to move. We're gonna crawl underneath of it and bolt it down using the included bolt, lock washer, and flat washer. All right, so once you have this slotted in, there's an open pre-drilled hole here that's gonna line up with the threaded hole on your bed rail. Take this bolt, set it in there, line that up, and we're gonna thread it in by hand right now. And so that's gonna connect the bed rail to the tonneau cover and make sure that they're able to be slotted in and secured. All right, so now I'm gonna grab an 11mm socket and tighten down that bolt. Now you can repeat this on the other side. All right, so now we're just doing the same thing on the other side. Setting the bed rail in place, lifting it up, and slotting it in. Now we can head underneath and bolt it down. All right, so next up, we're gonna install our clamps. There's gonna be 2 on each bed rail. Now the clamps are a little bit unusual. They're a little different than most systems here. You've got essentially the clamp that'll hug the rail itself and this pivot joint that's gonna put pressure on the inside of the factory bed rail. Now these guys slot in together just like this. So they'll slide in like that and hook in and tighten up like this. You're also gonna need this little twist knob here. This is gonna go through and tighten them down together. Let's put that aside for just now. What we're gonna do is look for this clamp relief. Here is your bed rail post. This is the clamp relief. It's a little divot in that slot. So look for that. That's gonna help us install the clamp. We're gonna hook the clamp into that slot and then slide these 2 components toward these little rivets, just like that, and they're locked into place. Now we can grab the twist knob and tighten it down. Now on that knob, you'll have this little cylindrical nut. This guy's threaded, that's gonna be on the back here. You're gonna put a flat washer and a lock washer on the knob side, put that through, it'll go through both, and then you're gonna tighten that to this threaded nut on the other side, just like this. Now that's gonna hug the bed rail to the factory bed and tighten them together. So just twist that knob until they're nice and tight. Now we can do the same thing toward the tailgate. All right, so closer to the tailgate, you'll see this other section. You're gonna do the exact same thing. So as you tighten this down, it'll start to get really snug up against that factory bed. Now we can repeat this for the other side. All right, so I just want to make a quick note about those clamps that we just installed. There are 4 total, of course, 2 by the cab side of the bed and 2 by the tailgate side. They are 2 different sizes. The clamp portion on the front here where the twist knob is, this guy, there are shorter and longer versions of that. The shorter ones are gonna go on the tailgate side and the longer ones are gonna go up by the cab side, by the front of the bed. Now, once you have that taken care of, which we do, you also wanna make sure that the bed rails here are flat. If yours are tilted up a little bit or down a little bit, you may want to use the included shims to level them out. You want a completely flat, level bed rail that's level with the factory side of the bed. So we have that taken care of. Ours does not need shims. It looks pretty straight to me, so we're gonna move on. The next step is to use these kickstands. Now Now the point of the kickstand is to install into the slotted portion of those clamps to just put pressure on the side of the bed. So when this flexes, this can support that flex and keep it pushed upward. So let's install those next. All right, so I took the wing nut off along with the flattened lock washers. This stud is gonna go through the slot that connects these two clamps. From there, we're gonna untwist or loosen this stud. It's gonna push this flat portion up against the side of our bed and put pressure on, and that's exactly what we want. Now, when this pad contacts the side of the bed, you want that pad to be relatively flat. If yours is crooked or if it's bending or if it's flexing in a certain way, readjust the position of the stud to make sure it's going straight in and that this pad is flat. Now what we can do is tighten it up so it makes good pressure. And then on the other end, we're going to install our flattened lock washer through the stud and then tighten it up with our wing nut. Perfect. Now that's a good support and this guy won't flex. Repeat this on the other side of the clamp that's near the tailgate. Now those are the only two that are going to get this kickstand, just the tailgate side. Next up, we're going to use the lubricant included in the kit to lubricate the bed rails in here where the tonneau cover will slide through, as well as the sweeping seals, which is this top portion here. Lubricant included in the kit, I recommend using with latex gloves just because it can get a little messy. So we're just going to use this cloth here. You don't really have to unwrap the whole thing. What you're going to do is slide this guy in and run it all along the inside of the rail. So we're lubricating that whole inside, top. Now I'm going to flip it over and hit the bottom. And then one more time, just on the seals. Perfect. Now let's repeat that for the other side. Hit the top side where it contacts the top end here as well. Now the next step would be to install your drain tubes if you'd like, and then finally the top cover. But before you go any further, now is a really good time to test out the tonneau cover to make sure it operates smoothly and perfectly and the weather seal seats up against the tailgate properly. So what you might want to do is grab this strap. This is going to make your life a whole lot easier. Run this guy all the way up to the tailgate. This is what you're going to use to close your tonneau cover. So from here, pull this guy out. And doing this should be effortless. There should not be a ton of effort required to pull this back. It should come back smooth and click into place. That worked perfectly. Now we want to test our tailgate seal. So we're going to shut this guy. This weather stripping should seat right up against the edge of our tailgate, just like it is now. It'll seat right up against it so nothing can slip in there, and it's perfect. Now let's test it retracting. Open this guy up. You want to hold on to the string and pinch the release mechanism. Now you can slowly feed it back, and it should go back without you having to push on it. It'll just retract itself. So that worked out really nicely. Now we can move on. Next up, you would install your drain plugs. Now what these are going to do essentially is feed any water that does make its way into this canister right out of your bed away from your cargo. Now I definitely recommend installing these. We have a spray-in bed liner that went right over our grommets, which prevent us from popping them out. You guys would be able to pop that out, feed this end through that hole, and then snap this end to the pre-drilled hole under your canister. It would just click right into place, and all moisture would feed right out of the bed. Now, if you also have a spray-in bed liner like we do, number one, you can cut that grommet right out of place, poke a hole right in it, and feed this through. You can completely cut out the whole grommet itself, remove it and put this through, or you can drill a hole through it and pop this guy through. That's completely up to you. I personally recommend just cutting a hole right in the middle of the grommet and feeding it through if your bed liner has been sprayed over it. We're of course not, because we are just going to be putting this back to stock, but it's worth mentioning here. This is a really important part. I definitely don't recommend skipping it. Next up is going to be your top cover. Now I'm just going to place the cover here to quickly explain something. On each end there's a plastic cap that pushes in on both sides. Now it is pre-installed right out of the box, but if yours does fall off, they really just slide right back on and they snap into place. It's super simple. Now, you're gonna notice there is weather stripping on one side and a really soft, almost brush on the other side. The brush is gonna be on the inside of the bed, weather stripping on your bulkhead. So let's lay that in place. You'll also notice that it wraps right around these adjustment screws here. That'll snap right into place. There's 2 holes pre-drilled on the end caps. Those will line up to the pre-drilled holes with the U-nuts on the metal bracket. So we're gonna put those in place on both sides. All right, now what we can do is take the 4 Phillips head screws included in the kit and put them through those holes, line them up, and bolt them down. All right, now quickly just repeat that for the other side. All right, last step of the process is we're going to conveniently Velcro this strap, which is a critical component in opening and closing this guy. So what I'm going to do is take the additional Velcro strap included in the kit that has 3M on the back, and I'm going to Velcro it to the piece of Velcro on our nylon rope. Now on the back side, I'm going to pull off this 3M backing, and what I'm going to do is actually stick it right underneath of this bed rail, so that way we know exactly where the Velcro rope is every time we want to use it. We don't have to go looking for it in the bed. So this guy, you can put wherever you want. I think it's best on the driver's side, so it's easier to get to when you hop out of your driver's seat. All right, so that is just going to stick right there. Now, anytime you want to use this rope, drop your tailgate, boom, and you can open and close it. And then when you're done, pop it up there and you know where it is. Well guys, that's gonna wrap up my review and install for the Pace Edwards SwitchBlade Retractable tonneau cover, available for 09 to 18 Ram 1500s without Ram box. If you wanna pick it up, you can do so right here at AmericanTrucks.com.